So the master of the macabre, Clive Barker, has given us many gruesome tales throughout the years, and one from the books of blood has given us scary and brutal film adaptation. So let's take a ride on the Midnight Meat Train. When struggling photographer Leon Coffin's latest body of work attracts the interest of prominent art gallery proprietor Susan Hoff, she pushes him to delve in deeper and closer to the darker side of humanity for his upcoming gallery debut. Compelled to capture the city as none have before, Leon's obsessive pursuit leads him to the path of a serial killer, Mahogany, who gruesomely butchers late-night subway commuters while preserving the meat for reasons unknown. With his concerned girlfriend Maya fearing for his life, Leon's relentless fascination with Mahogany lures him further and further into the bowels of the subway, and ultimately into an abyss of pure evil, where startling mystery awaits to be revealed. So of course, I am a big fan of Clive Barker's very intriguing and twisted imagination when it comes to the film adaptations of many of his stories, such as Hellraiser, Lord of Illusions, and a little bit of Candyman too, and Midnight Meat Train was the first story told in Volume 1 of the Books of Blood, published in 1984, and obviously 2008 we got this film adaptation, headed up by Ryuhei Kitamura, which is, in a lot of ways, is a very good film, but it does have some shortcomings too. That I did see this film when it premiered on FearNet in 2008, and it's like, this is good, I really like it, but it's never really stuck with me, and there's a couple reasons why that I'll get into a little later on. But since it was based on a short story, there was a lot of things that they had to expand upon to really make it a feature-length film, because the short story basically encapsulates the third act of this film. So they did a lot of stuff to really expand the character of Leon here, portrayed by Bradley Cooper, and it does a lot of intriguing things. I like the entire idea of this one character who is very intrigued, very focused in on the dark corners of the city, the heart of the city, the real kind of black, dark, scary type of thriving quality of the city. So I love the whole thing where he just keeps descending further and further into the depths and bowels of the city, that he goes down to the subway, and then he goes down here, and then he goes further and further into this darkness, and it really kind of reflects a lot in his character, how Bradley Cooper portrays this character, that you can see that, first off, Bradley Cooper, all the natural things he brings to a character, any kind of role, is completely here. All that charisma, that natural just thing that the camera loves about him. They're just such a great, energetic, and charming talent that he really brings all that stuff effortlessly here. But I like that you get at a certain point in the film, when the character progresses to a certain point where he becomes more and more obsessed with this character of Mahogany, this brutish, murderous character in the film. He just becomes so much more obsessed with the mystery behind it all, that he himself is descending further into darkness. His psyche has just become more obsessed with this whole thing, and there's not a whole lot of things that really stand out about the characters of the film, but because you got this certain thing with the character of Leon, and Bradley Cooper portrays it so very well that it really encapsulates and kind of engages your intrigue with the film, just hooks you in enough to keep you going with the whole film, that you just get reeled in further and further to it. Just like you're trying to figure out what this mystery is. You're so very much intrigued by what exactly is going on behind all of this. And so is the character of Leon, and Bradley Cooper just does a great job in that role. But it's great with that dark descent, because the cinematography in this film is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, because like I've said it many times, I love the neo-noir style, and this thing just has some beautiful looking nighttime glowing type of stuff. Just the city just looks beautiful with all this steely blues and everything, all the great shadowy type of stuff, and it's like, it's probably a film that doesn't have a very large budget, but how they film everything really gives you a sense of scope to everything that is very, just grabs your eye, just feeds your eyes and everything. Just, this is such a feast for the eyes, for me anyway, just seeing how the light and shadow works off one another, how they have all these shots of like I love that elevator and that escalator and everything in the subway. Just how it's lit is just absolutely gorgeous. But also in the daytime scenes, they got these nice washed out daylight amber colors and everything that just continue to give the film a certain atmosphere. There's so much atmosphere in this thing. You get all those kind of smoky visuals and everything. It just looks so beautiful. The cinematography is just absolutely stunning in this film. Everything just looks so damn good. This is the type of cinematography that I just absolutely love. And there's just so much elegant beauty in how the film is photographed, and between the direction and the cinematography you get so much captivating mood in this film with such striking, enveloping visuals. So many things like overhead shots of the alleyway, or just a lot of the overhead shots just create a very intriguing visual style to the film. Just get you soaked into the mindset and the psyche of Leon's character and everything. Just the mood in this film is just absolutely penetrating through every frame. It's just so damn well. And it's not just a film of flash, not just style, because Kitamura really does a fantastic job directing the film. It's great to see a film that has all this great brutality, but still has so much tension, just ramps up tension in these moments that you really start to get a little bit on edge with things. That it's not just blunt force trauma. You get people cowering like living hell. Just the scares and the tension of things in those moments, and down in that subway, it's just right on the razor's edge of things in a lot of cases. It's just spine-rattling brutality mixed with blood-curdling gore, wrapped up in a riveting, haunting direction style. Everything just feels very Clive Barker-esque in this film. You just see it, especially when you get to the points where people are just laid up on meat hooks. Very much invokes sort of Hellraiser type of imagery, and a little bit of Candyman too. So there's a lot of Clive Barker's signature stuff in this film that comes through very clearly. And the cast in this film is very solid, even if the script isn't all that exceptional. To give them a lot of fascinating things to explore with their characters, because you got a lot of really good, solid actors in this film. They really raise the quality of the film up to another level. And just the natural qualities that all these actors bring to the role, especially like Bradley Cooper, or a little bit of Brooke Shields, who has a small role in the film. A lot of actors they're very familiar to, just bring a lot of consistent, reliable quality to the cast of this film to make enough things to keep your interest going, that the characters are engaging, they're interesting, a lot of them are relatable and likable. They really just keep you going with the film. You never get detached from them in a certain way. And this further extends out to Vinnie Jones, who portrays Mahogany in the film. And because the character has no real dialogue in it, except for a little something at the end of it, this is a character completely based on physical presence alone. And man, does he hit it right on the dead-on nail, because this guy is fucking creepy. This guy is frightening in the film, because not only because Vinnie Jones is a big guy, because you can put any kind of big guy into a film and just get that shallow type of thing. There are a lot of things, little subtle things in the film that they add into the character that he portrays so well. Just a little something in his face, just a little bit of how he carries himself, kind of, sort of, just this silent, brooding quality that he has. Just the way he carries himself creates such a chilling magneticism about the character, so much gravitas in what he does. Just little things in this film with the character just creates something just so intriguing and just so scary too. Just the absolute brutality mixed with a lot of interesting little type of slightly sorrowful, tragic qualities kind of coming through a little bit on the surface of the character. Just something going on with the character more than just the violence and brutality weaves into the mystery this film is trying to snare you into. And like I said, there's a certain exceptional quality lacking in the script of this whole thing, because like I said, all the other talents beyond the script are what really kind of raises up to something much more engrossing and everything, and much more scary. Script itself just doesn't quite get you all the way there with what it's trying to do. That obviously everything that they've written into the script is building towards what the original story was from the Books of Blood. So there's a certain thing where you're getting so ramped up, so invested in all the blood-curdling gore, just the pure brutality and violence, a little bit of the intrigue and mystery too. And when you get to it, it might not feel all that greatly satisfying, and that either you're there with it or you're not. If you've read the story, you already know what it's building towards. If you're not, if you're coming to the film fresh, you don't know exactly where it's going, so it goes into something, maybe you have a taste for it, maybe you don't. And once you get everything revealed in the climax at the end of the film, the final moment of the film really is completely predictable, where it's going, what's happening here. Just, there's no real kind of surprise or whatnot. It's like, okay, that's obvious what's happening here. And another negative mark about the film, because yeah, there's a lot of brutality, a whole shitload of gore, and a shitload of CGI effects that kind of stand out a little bit like a sore thumb in certain places, that they're doing a lot of very over-the-top type of brutal moments that in a certain way maybe you could achieve them with practical effects if they had really good guys like K&B Effects or something along those lines to really kind of push things towards a very high standard, or at least do something practical that can be enhanced by visual effects instead of using CGI to really kind of replace it completely and really kind of cheapen some of the gore in the film. But overall, the film does deliver on a lot of good things, a lot of great tension, brutality up the ass. So I would definitely say that Midnight Meat Train is worth seeing because there's a lot of great stuff in this film. I love the whole dark descent into the nighttime underworld with the mood, this atmosphere, the intrigue this film has, or the mystery that is trying to weave in a little bit here and there, and just fucking blood-curdling brutality with a lot of great tension too. So even if the third act might not gel with you completely because it doesn't feel like it's entirely greatly cohesive with everything else the film is building up and building towards, that you probably just want something a little different, or just something that doesn't feel so predictable right at the end of the film, just something a little bit different, a little different twist. But overall, I definitely say this is worth seeing because everything else will just really get you going and everything. There's plenty of stuff to enjoy here as a horror fan. So you tell me if you've seen this movie, you've read the original short story. I love to hear your comments about what you think about it, or simply what is your favorite Clive Barker story of all time. Anything that he's ever written, because he has such a vast collection of stories and more to come too, because anyone who's interested in Lord of Illusions or Hellraiser, he has announced that the Scarlet Gospels will finally be published next spring, which brings Harry D'Amour and Pinhead together in Pinhead's final story, according to Clive Barker himself. So plenty of stuff to get interested in. So post your comments below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And for our horror month, we'll continue on with plenty of blood left to come, plenty of tension to get the hairs rising up on your spine. So take care, and see you soon.